So we're going to look at underneath our camera here, exercise 613 out of our tech drafting book. And we're going to, I tend to start with, where's my front view? My front view is going to be looking in this orientation. So I am going to be starting in this corner right here. This is going to like be my 0, 0. Okay, that's going to be my 0, 0. So I'm going to start with a very vanilla rectangle. I'm going to go all the way over to get my width of 3.25. I'm going to do my full height going up of 1.56 from that corner. And that's going to be my front view. Then I'm going to create then my miter line so that I have it there for construction of my top and my right side views. Okay. And then like I said earlier, we are going to kind of need to go between the views. We're going to be able to do some stuff in one view, but then I'm going to have to translate up and over to get the different points and the different views based on what's going on here. So I'm going to go back to AutoCAD. And I'm going to start by making that rectangle. So I am going to grab a line. I'm on my object line. My first point is going to be my 0, 0. And then I'm going to make a horizontal line going to the right, 3.25. Okay, 3.25. Then I'm going to go straight up. Again, I'm just making a rectangle. Some of these lines in the future are definitely going to be trimmed off, but I just want to get kind of the front corner up there. So this is going to be 1.56 up. I'm going to go back in line, and then I'm going to close. Okay, so just a rectangle representing that front view. Now, from that upper right-hand corner here, I'm going to create my miter line going up. Okay, so I want it to be on a 45-degree angle. I have my polar tracking set here. Okay, so polar tracking, if you don't have polar tracking down there, you can grab, it from the customize, and I just have to find it. Polar tracking is right about there. I think it might be one of the standard settings that AutoCAD has, but you want to make sure that you have the 90, 45, 135 in there, okay? Because then it snaps to that. You can always change it if you need to. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my miter line as an object line just because it's the miter line. And then I'm going to delete it when I'm done. When you hand these in and you do the drawing, those come off. Okay. So we always are going to, hide construction lines. I'll be using those soon, but I feel like a miter line, I want that to be, something that like sticks out when I'm doing my construction. So I'm just going to do my line. I'm going to grab the endpoint here. And then when I get close to that 45 degrees, it's going to snap. Okay. And I'm just going to come down a little bit. And I'm just going to make sure that it's going to be long enough. Okay. Random length-ish. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my construction line view or my construction line layer. And I'm going to put my lines going straight up and straight over in orthographic projection for my for my top and my right side views. So I'm going to go to construction line. I'm going to grab that endpoint, and then I'm going to make sure that I'm vertical, and then I'm going to hit that second point. I'm going to hit enter, then hit enter again to do it again. So remember that enter key gives you a repeat of that previous, what do we call it? Command. The next thing I want to do is I want to set now where I'm going to start my next view. So I'm just going to go a distance up. If you remember from when we started AutoCAD, they would do like the 1.5 inches between, just a distance right now, because we know that because of CAD, especially when we add our dimensions, we have that freedom to move things apart when we need to. And we don't want, when we're constructing, for them to be so far apart either. So I'm just going to grab a construction line, and I'm going to go about this far apart. Okay. And I'm just going to make a horizontal line. Okay. Now what that sets for me is the front corner then where I'm going to come down for where my right side is going to be. So now I'm going to do another construction line, and I'm going to grab that intersection over the miter line. And now this is going to be where my right side view starts. Now the width of my part, or the depth of my part, is 2.5 inches. So I'm going to do an offset 2.5, enter, and I'm going to select the line in my right side view, the vertical line, and I'm going to offset it for the depth. And I'm going to do the same thing, 2.5 for the horizontal line that starts my top view, and then put it in place. Now I'm going to go back to my object layer, and I'm simply going to make the rectangles for each one of those views. Okay. And again, I know that I'm going to trim away, but this is really just setting up, you know, where my views are going and such. So I have it all good. All right. So I'll let you catch up there, and it's not a bad time to do a quick save. So I'm going to do a save as, since it's the first time, and this is the index feed. So I'm going to navigate to my OneDrive, mechanical design, and you're going to navigate to wherever you're saving these, right? Module assignments. This is module 5, and this is going to be index feed. I got to call it 1. I already did it. Okay. Questions so far? All right. Let's revisit our drawing and see what we want to do. So again, I'm going to continue to focus in the front view until I can't. Okay. So what I'm going to create is going to be this, you know, this little cutout, if you would, of the 0.75. So I do know that from that bottom, because I created the rectangle to be along this bottom, I'm going to offset up 0.19, okay, to get that gap. And then I'm going to offset over 1.25, and then a distance apart of 1.75, or I'm sorry, of 0.75. Now, in this example, whenever we see like tolerances, you do one of two things. If there is a nominal dimension as one of those values, we draw it to the nominal value. So in this case, the high limit of that width is 0.75, which is 3/4 of an inch. If that is not the case, so if the nominal dimension is not one of the dimensions, that's okay. We're going to draw, number one, we're going to do it to the nominal. If, for instance, you have the middle number is nominal, and then your high number and your low number are two different values, you find the middle value, okay? That's what you draw it at. But in this case, we have a nominal value as one of our limits, which is the high number, if you would, for the limit or the tolerance on this width. We're going to draw it. We're going to dimension it to 0.75. So nominals first, and then middle dimension if we don't have a nominal. Okay. If a tolerance is given. So we're going to go back to AutoCAD, and I'm going to do those offsets, like I said. So I'm going to zoom in here a little bit, and I'm going to do an offset. Now, I am not going to offset my object lines. I'm going to offset my construction lines. Okay, that way I have to do less trimming in the end. So my offset distance is going to be 0.19, and that's going to be from my horizontal line on the bottom up. Okay, so that's the height there. And now I'm going to go over with this line, 1.25. So I'm going to offset again, 1.25. And I'm going to select the construction line and go in. And then I have to start back over. So hit escape or enter to end that command, and then re-enter this time 0.75 as my offset, and then go in. Okay. So now I have all my intersections available. I can go to my line command, and I'm going to grab, like I'm going to start here on my intersection. I'm going to go over to that intersection and down, and then hit escape. Don't go over the top. Okay. And then you're just going to simply do the same thing again from this intersection up and then over. And then now I'm going to trim away what I don't need. Okay. So I'm going to go to the trim command. Now, if I go over the top, it doesn't like it like as a single command. So what you do need to do is kind of go outside, and I'm going to hold and drag and go over the top, and then it'll get rid of both of them. Same thing over here. I don't know why it does it. It's because I think the construction line is in the background. It doesn't know like which one to pick. I don't know. I think it's kind of obvious AutoCAD, but whatever, it's fine. It doesn't recognize it as a construction line step. Well, I did do it as X.
The construction line first, because
it was the first one that we created. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so you've got to do that for those trims when you're doing it over the top of a construction line, I noticed. Okay. So let's.
I noticed the problem is when the construction line is over the top of the.
Oh, that way. Okay. Yeah, maybe you're right. Yep.
Then the trim command is selecting the
top one.
line,
Yeah.
top one. offset of the object.
That might, yeah, you might be right. Okay, yeah. Okay, let me go back to our drawing. Okay, so we've got kind of these bottom parts here. Let's kind of, you'll notice that there's a 0.25 offset here. We know that, can we find, let me see if we can find, so we know that this is 0.125 up, this is 0.625 up, so we can get this edge here going across. So let's put those in place. And again, I'm gonna offset construction lines so there's less trimming in the end. So I'm gonna do an offset here of 0.25. Okay. And then you're gonna notice I'm gonna go up 0.625 from the 0.19 line. So 0.62, it's 0.62 up this way. Okay. So it's up off of 0.19 that we did earlier. So go back into, we got the object line or the object layer identified. So we're going to come down and go over. Now I'm not going to get rid of this stuff just yet because there is some stuff in the background that we're going to need. Okay. Now, as I look in the front view is here as well, you're going to notice that we have this cutout here, right on the edge. So in the front view, I do know that that is going to be 1 inch from the end and its depth is 0.19. Okay, its depth is 0.19. So I'm gonna put that in my front view right away. Go back over here. And I'm going to do another offset, 1 inch of the construction line in. And then I'm going to do another offset, 0.19, and that's going to be down this way. Okay, so now this is going to create a little ridge here. There we go. Now we do keep the line going all the way across here because if we look, you know, as we look in this direction, there's still this going all the way back. So we're just going to see the depth here of the 0.19. Okay, so that's about as far as we can go in the front view that, you know, comfortably that I can see. All right, so now what we want to do is we want to start working with the other views to kind of then transfer back and forth. Okay, so I'm gonna start in the right side view, I think. Okay. And it really doesn't matter. One isn't either better than the other. We'll be able to make more progress one place than the other and then kind of go back and forth between. So as we look at the right side here, okay, we are going to create this horizontal line going across, and that's going to be that difference of the 0.19, okay? Then we're also going to have the top line going, and not maybe a whole lot we can do in the right side view yet. So we'll play with it, in the words of Bob Moore. All right, so line, this is going to be this line going all the way across from here to here, okay? I also know that this ledge is going to go all the way across as well. So I can add that line in this view here to here, okay? That's about as far as I want to go because anything I do is depends on some other things. So let's go top view. All right, let's go top view. This is the more interesting view anyway. So we're going to look down straight on the top of this, okay? And now we want to start kind of filling in our objects. So I'm going to start over here with this little triangle that's cut out. So I'm going to go back to AutoCAD, and I know that that triangle starts right here, right? And if I look at the angle that we have from horizontal, I have 50 degrees. So what I'm going to do is, you'll notice that I have a construction line right here. So I'm going to rotate that construction line at this corner right here. All right, so I'm going to do the rotate command. I'm going to rotate that construction line. I'm going to hit enter. My base position is going to be the intersection. Make sure you get the intersection. I don't trust perpendicular all the time. Make sure you get the intersection. And then now I need it to be 50 degrees. So I'm not going to go with my my snaps here. Since I need it 50 degrees from horizontal, that means it's 40 degrees from vertical. Do you see? Because I have a vertical line, I'm going to be a negative 40 degrees from where it's at, because I have to rotate in a clockwise direction. So it's asking me, specify your rotation angle. It's going to be negative 40. Enter. And I'm going to prove it to you. So this line, when I draw this in here, and it has to be a regular line. So I'm going to draw this line in here from this from that intersection where we had our base point to there. And if you just want to check, like, is that really 50 degrees where I need it to be? Because I put in negative 40. I am going to do an angular dimension here just quickly. It's a nice little check. There's my 50 degrees. I got it. Okay. So I'm going to delete it right away. It's just to make sure. Okay. So that is that feature in place. Okay. That's that feature in place. Now, if I wanted to, sometimes it's nice to work feature to feature. Let's put this into our right side view. So if I go back to my construction line layer and I draw a construction line from that intersection that I just created, okay, right here, where it intersects with the depth, I'm going to go across, okay? And then I'm going to do another construction line, and I'm going to go from that intersection down, okay? So this is that line right there. So when I look from the right side view, when I look from this right side view here, now I know where it's coming down because I just did that miter line, and then it's going to go all the way to the edge. So I'm going to go back to my object line, and I'm going to come down here, here, and here. Now that top portion stays in place because it still goes in the background over the top there, okay? So I've got my triangle in place. Not a bad time to do a quick just save so that we don't lose what we worked on. This is fun, isn't it? Okay. Let's look at the rest of the top. Let's see what we're going to do now. Probably going to have to do something with this. So from this front point right here, there's a line that's going to be at 40 degrees from vertical. So we're going to draw that line in place. Okay, we're going to do that first. And I believe we have a construction line there already. And our rotating or our base position is going to be right here where it crosses that front point. So we're going to do a rotate on this construction line, enter. Base position, again, grab the intersection. I don't trust perpendicular. And I need to come back this way, negative 40 degrees. And it's the angle coming from the vertical. So negative 40 degrees again. Okay. And that's that going backwards. Now, the next thing I need to be aware of is you'll notice that there's a 1 1/4 coming forward here, right? We need to draw that line coming forward. So it's going to be an offset in the front view, construction line 1 1/4 going in. I said front, it's in the top. Okay, so I am going to do another offset, 1.25, and it's going to be this construction line. Oh, it is the same line. Okay. All right. Just wanted to be sure. I'm like, why did it go over the top? So we had this line in here, which is at the same level. So now the lines that we're going to connect, we're on our object line layer. I'm going to start here in the front. I'm going to go all the way back to here, that intersection we just created with 1 1/4, and then we're going to go back. That's how we see that. Okay. From the top view only, like looking straight down on it, So we put in this line all the way, and then it intersects right there. Okay. All right. Now to get like this back business in, we need to look from, if you would, the right side view, because now that we have that height there, we can offset back 0.94, and then we can create this 30-degree angle. Okay, from the right side view. Let's do that. So much better than just like simple stuff, right? Okay, so in this view, as we look from the right side view, we're going to offset our construction line here, 0.94. And we're going to go like this here and go in. So it's this line right here. Okay, So now what we're gonna do is that's a 30-degree angle from horizontal. So let's go back and look. So we're looking in this direction. I just created an offset for a vertical line. And now what I want to do is I want to rotate that so that it's at that 30-degree angle from horizontal. Okay, but it's a vertical line. So if I go back here, I believe it's always sometimes a test. I'm going to rotate that vertical line right there. Enter. Base position is going to be the intersection, shift right mouse button. And now I need it to end up being a 30-degree angle like this. So that means, notice that from its position vertically, I'm going to rotate it 60 degrees, if you would, in a positive direction. So I'm just going to do 60 degrees, and this should be, and it looks like it, a 30-degree angle. Okay. So now I'm on my object line. I'm going to do my line. I'm just going to connect this to this. And we're going to trim away the portions here that we don't need. So we're going to trim. We're just going to like this and like that and drag over the top. Okay. Now, I'm going to physically erase anything that's at an angle here because it's just kind of interfering with the other views. So I'm just going to get rid of those three. And now this point is important to me because I need that to go up and over for my top view, right? So let's put that in place. So we're going to go back to the construction line layer, and we're going to do a construction line from this corner vertically. And then from that intersection horizontally. Okay. Now, why is that important to us? So when we look back at our drawing, that's this line right here. That's that line right there. That's where that 30-degree angle starts and goes back. So we need to just draw that straight across. So we'll go back on my object line layer line. And if I go back up and over from here to here, there it is. Now, besides our counterbore hole, our top and our right sides are done. Do you agree? No. I've got one line in the right side that I need to add. What is it? Go ahead.
The line where the
Nope, I did that one. I did this one. That one's there.
no,
This one right here, the 40-degree angle. This one, yeah, this little line right here, I need to add back in. Yes, that needs to go on my right side. So I'm going to go back to my construction line layer. I'm going to do a construction line from that corner, horizontal, and then I'm going to come back down another construction line from that corner straight down. And I need to add this little line right there, object line edge that we're going to see. Now am I done with my right side? Besides the counterbore, the right side and the top. Do we feel like we're good? I think so. I think so. So now we've got to finish up our front view, right? We got to finish up our front view. So let's kind of bring this in a little bit. So if we look, in our front view here, we're going to have this line here, okay? And we have this line here, and then we're going to have a hidden line coming back on that edge. Okay. So let's go back over here. So construction line wise, it's just nice to put them in lightly. So construction line, I want to bring this one over horizontally. Okay. Because that's going to be that little part going up right here. Right. So, and then it's going to connect to where this is going to intersect right here. So I'm going to do another construction line going straight down from here to here. And I'm going to go back to my object line and I'm going to connect those. So I'm going to go from here up, and then this one is right here. It's going to go right there. And then I'm at the very top. So now my trimming that needs to occur, it's going to be this one, this one, this one, and that one. Just double check. So what I did was I created from the front view, I created this going up, but then there's this little jog here, and now we're back up at the top of the whole part. The last line I need to add, besides the counter bore, is going to be this back line right there. That's going to be a hidden line for me in the front view. And that line is going to be this little edge right here. So in the right side view where this 30 degrees came down, this is that edge right there. That's going to be a hidden line in that front view. So we're going to go to the hidden layer, and I should be able to project this across without construction lines. So I'm going to hit my line. I'm going to activate that point, but I'm not going to click. I'm going to go straight over, activate the point. There we go. And now I can go right from that surface all the way to the end. And that hidden line is in there. Double check for me. Now I think I have all my lines in besides my counterboard holes. Anybody see anything else that I'm missing at the moment? I don't think so. I think I'm good. Questions so far? So notice how we had to kind of use each, the views to create other things. Yes. Oh, got it? Okay. Yeah. All right. So now we're just going to add the counterboard hole. Okay. So let's look. We need to, if we read the note here, the diameter of 0.5 is the smaller diameter going all the way through the bottom part. And then the counter bore, this is that open rectangle, is going to be, should be a diameter symbol in front of the 0.75. And it's going to be, the counter bore is going to be a depth of 0.35. Okay. So I'm going to start by drawing my circles in the top view as circular views, and then we'll project them down. Okay. Oh, the other thing, let's go back over here. The dimensions for the location are, this is going to be at the center of the part. So we need to take half of 3.25. It's going to be half that distance from this corner. And then it's going to be 75 up. So if somebody takes 3.25 and they divide it in half, what is that number? What is that number? Yeah.
Wouldn't have to be snap to the center of.
Nope, I don't want to. I'm going to show you why. What is that half that distance? I'm going to do a snap from this corner, and I'm going to put the coordinates in and up. And then that way I don't have to do an offset of anything, because I don't have this location here right now. So half of 3.25, is it 1.625? $3.25 in half. I got a chat. 1.625. Thank you, Caleb. Got it. Got it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to snap from this corner right here in that top view. That's going to be our base position, like our 0, 0, if you would, for this command. And we're going to say at 1.625 and then up 0.725. So that our X dimension is going to be the 1.625. So we're going to click on snap from, and we're going to grab, snap from. Hold on. Oh, I've got to do a command first. So I've got to do my center diameter circle, then snap from corner. And now I'm going to do the at symbol, and it's going to be 1.625, comma, 0.75. And I needed the at to be relative to. Now I'm doing it in my hidden line. That's okay. I'll just change it on the opposite end. This probably happens to you occasionally as well. And the diameter that I'm going to do is, you can do either the 0.5 or the 0.75. I'm just going to put it in here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to reselect that circle and put it on the object line layer, and then change my current layer to the object line layer. Okay. Now I have this hole here. I can just share the same center for the 0.75 diameter. Okay, so that's my top view. Now I want to translate this down. Now I have to figure out, like, which surface is it coming from? So if we look back at our drawing, it's on this surface right here. So that line is where I'm going to start this coming down. So the first one I'm going to do is it's going to be hidden in this view. So I'm going to change to my hidden line layer. Okay. And then I'm going to draw a line, and I'm going to see it finds, it looks like the intersection here where it's, and I don't want that intersection. I don't want that. That's not intentional. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to get rid of this, delete, and I'm going to try it again. So line, I just want to make sure I'm getting the quadrant down. I don't need to click it. So I'm going to activate the quadrant, go down. I want to minimize my trimming. I'm going to go down. I'm going to select that, click on that surface, go straight down, and my depth is 0.35. Okay. And then I'm going to go over, and I know that that width is 0.75, right? So I'm going to go over 0.75, and then I'm going to go straight back up, perpendicular to. There we go. So that's the counter bore in place. Now I want to do that very same or similar. I'm going to go a little bit out for my 0.5. So I'm going to do a line, activate the quadrant, go down, down, down. But this time I'm not going to start until the bottom of my counter bore and then go down to the bottom of that very bottom surface. Activate my counter bore, or the inside, go down to the counter bore and there. Okay, so that's in place. Now I'm going to add my center line here. So I'm going to do my center line. And I'm going to use my center line command. Now I put it up here on my toolbar, but if you need to, you can go to annotate center line. And I'm just going to activate this one and this one, but it's not long enough. That's okay. I can use my grips by clicking on it. And then this grip right here, I'm going to go just up over the top of, not grab it here. I'm going to go just up over the top. And now I've got my center line in place. You'll notice here that as we look at this view, this looks like a solid line here. So for that, for the line type scale, I'm going to actually do it as an overall and see how it works out. So if I do a line type scale right here, LT scale, okay, it's at 1 right now. I'm going to go to 0.75 just to see how it looks. And I like it because I knew 0.5 would be a little small. So as long as I can see on every one of these lines, a dotted line, that's good. So I set it so that everything changes to the 0.75. And now I can copy this over in this view. So it is going to be 0.75 from the front of my right side view into that view. So I'm going to go back to my home. I'm going to offset 0.75, and this is going to go into that view. And now between the front view and the right side view, I can copy my center line and my counter bore and the two sides. I don't want to grab this on the bottom. And then I'm going to hit enter, and from the base point where that intersects to the 0.75 line that I just offset, that's where that goes. Okay. I'm going to do a quick save. Now, I think I have all my features in place. So we're really close to the end here. So handing in wise. So for instance, I know we have to put dimensions on. We're not going to go there today. What I want you to do is focus on multi-view drawings for each one of our assigned 9 problems. Then on Friday and early next week, we'll be working on looking at the dimensioning. Okay. But first things first, let's get them drawn. Now, once I'm at this point, I want to hide my construction views. Okay. Or construction lines. And then I want to get rid of my miter line. Joshua.
Would there not be the hidden lines for the bottom?
Yes, I missed those, didn't I? Yeah. Thank you. So thank you. So these 2 hidden lines, right, Joshua? These 2 for these. Yep. Thank you. Before we call it done, thank you for grabbing that. I know. We're going to activate that and we're going to click. And then now this is in line with this. So don't overlap. Go here. Okay. Remember, that's the rule. And then we're going to do the same thing for the other one. Line. This one, I think, goes all the way across. Activate that. Yeah, that one's going to go in. Thank you. Any others that you noticed? I hope not. Oh, I need a center line up here too, don't I? Need my center line in there. Okay. It's there. Before I get rid of my miter line, I think I'm okay, right? Double check me. I don't have the key in front of me right now, so I'm doing it on the fly. So I don't intend to miss anything, but it can happen. Okay, this is good. So we're going to do 1 file save. and it's ready for border and dimensioning, right? Which is to be continued. So perfect timing. I'm gonna stop here on this demonstration.